This is Freedom Global News.
Federal government approves funds to procure intelligence equipment for Nigeria's security and civil defense corps. Appeal court dismisses suit seeking Umahi and deputy sack. Correspondent reports on President Muhammadu Buhari's 7 years in office. And on the foreign scene, Saudi Arabia to start Ramadan tomorrow, 2nd April 2022. Good evening, you listen to Freedom Global News on 99.5 FM. I am Hawa Adam Kiawa. Today is the 1st of April 2022. And now the news in full. The federal government has approved funds for the procurement of intelligence gathering equipment and gunboats for the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps. It was gathered today that the equipment will be deployed in states for surveillance and operations. Disclosing this to newsmen during the Commandant General Conference at the NSCDC headquarters, Abuja, the NSCDC Commandant General Dr. Ahmed Audi, who declined to disclose the cost of the equipment, said the hardware would further strengthen the agency's capability to gather intelligence, which would be shared with other security outfits to address the insecurity across the country. With the current wave of insecurity in the country, Audi stressed the need for the Corps to upscale and improve its intelligence gathering mechanism and information sharing. The CG also admonished state commandants to focus attention on intelligence gathering, noting that some of them were not doing enough in this regard. He noted that to this end, the management is taking measures towards improving the skill and capacity of the Corps by collaborating effectively with relevant stakeholders, sister agencies, and relevant government agencies, as well as international organizations, to assist in training and capacity development of the Corps personnel, particularly in the area of surveillance and intelligence gathering, to further improve on the competencies and proactiveness of the Corps personnel. Meanwhile, the Kaduna State government has received luggage, valuables, and other belongings of some passengers who were on the Abuja-Kaduna train AK9, which was attacked by terrorists on the 28th of March. The items were handed over to the Kaduna State government by the military authorities, who had gathered the items from within and around the train during search operations after the attack. This was contained in a statement issued today by the Commissioner Ministry of Internal Security and Home Affairs in the state, Samuel Arwan. He said Governor Nasir El-Rufai expressed his thanks to the military authorities and commended them for their careful handling and documentation of the items, comprising over 100 pieces of luggages, valuables, gadgets, and personal effects. 9 persons had already collected their items after presenting proof at the point of recovery by the military. An appeal court in Enugu today affirmed the judgment of Ebonyi State High Court Abakaliki, which quashed suits challenging the defection of Ebonyi Governor David Umahi and his deputy Dr. Kelechi Igwe to the All Progressives Congress (APC). Umahi and his deputy on November 2020 decamped from the PDP, on which platform they were elected, citing injustice by the PDP against the Southeast Zone. The suit was filed by Senator Sunni Ogboji and his running mate, Mr. Justin Mbam Ogodu, the governorship flag bearers of the APC in 2019 in Ebonyi State. They had, through originating summons, asked the court to determine whether the defendant, Governor Umahi, and his deputy have not vacated their offices or deemed to have vacated their offices, having defected to the APC from the PDP. But Justice Henry Njoku of Ebonyi High Court dismissed the suit for lacking in merit and awarded 500,000 naira against the plaintiffs. And on the sporting arena, former Arsenal coach Arsene Wenger is set to manage Super Eagles after Augustine Egavon stepped down the work. Correspondent Ahmed Hamsogwale has details of this and other sports updates.
Austin Egabon abruptly left his managerial role after failing to qualify Nigeria to the World Cup after a bitter 1-1 draw in Abuja with Black Stars of Ghana. The match fans stormed into the stadium and destroyed valuable items worth billions. In a statement by NFF today, they said they are hearing the 72-year-old Frenchman take up the position. Meanwhile, Premier League clubs will be able to make pipe substitution from the 2022-2023 season after they agreed the rule change on Thursday. Teams in the English top flight were allowed to make pipe changes for the final stage of the 2019-2020 season due to the pitch congestion caused by the coronavirus pandemic. In another update, Manchester United announced that Bruno Fernandes has signed a new contract which will keep him at the club until June 2016 with the option to extend a further year. The Portugal international has contributed 49 goals and 39 assists in just 117 games for United. In another development, Shakhtar Donetsk has officially announced that defender Benicio Tobias has joined Real Madrid on a 1.5-year loan with a buyout option. 18 years old Benicio Tobias, who can play right back and right winger on the field, moved Shakhtar Donetsk minus from Brazil International in January this year for €6 million and has yet to play for the first team this season. And on tennis, Japanese world number 1 Naomi Osaka fought back a beat Belinda Bencic and set up Miami Open final against incoming world number 1 Iga Swiatek of Poland. Japanese Osaka beat Swiss 4-6, 6-3, 6-4 to reach her first final since she won the 2021 Australian Open. She is now ranked 77 in the world as she continues her return from a break from the sport. Amadam Shugali, Freedom Radio.
The global news is coming to you from Freedom Radio 99.5 FM. You can send your comments, opinions, or watch us live on Freedom Radio Nigeria on Facebook.com. You can get the link to the page on our website, freedomradionig.com. Welcome back. You're still listening to Freedom Global News on 99.5 FM. The National Communications Corporation has disclosed that active telephone users hit 197.5 million and internet 143.7 million. The NC's Professor Umar Garba Dambata, the Executive Vice Chairman of the NCC, disclosed this at the ongoing 33rd Enugu International Trade Fair. Also noted that subscribers to internet are exceeding 143.7 million. Mbata added that broadband penetration stood at 41.61%. The Executive Vice Chairman, who was represented by the Enugu Zonal Controller, Ogbonaya Ugoma, said, in this new environment, the competitiveness of Nigeria and ability to open up the business environment to more global opportunities depends on the ability of local players to leverage new technologies in their businesses. On business, Muhammad Abba Abdullahi has updates.
President Muhammadu Buhari said the Bank of Industry (BOI) has disbursed over 1.4 trillion naira to micro SMEs, large enterprises in the country, thereby creating over 9 million jobs for Nigerians. The president stated this at the commissioning of the second tower of BOI. Buhari added that the 700 million euro bond recently raised will provide more funding for the growth of businesses in Nigeria. He noted that the bank has continued to successfully execute its mandates as a policy institution of the federal government in its effort to extend the single-digit interest rate loans. Meanwhile, the federal government has commenced the implementation of the National Fertilizer Quality Control Act 2019 to keep track of producers, exporters, sellers, and distributors of fertilizers. The Minister of Agriculture, Muhammad Sawina Nuno, stated this in Lagos, reiterating the federal government had started registering all fertilizer players of all categories in the nation. According to the minister, fertilizer are scarce in the nation and it's hampering agricultural output. Muhammad Abba Abdullahi, Freedom Radio.
And on the foreign scene, the Saudi Arabia Supreme Court has announced that this year's Ramadan fasting will commence on Saturday in the kingdom. This as Muslims in Nigeria await to proclaim of the on the sighting of the Ramadan moon, or otherwise by the Sultan of Sokoto and President General of the Nigerian Supreme Council for Islamic Affairs, Alhaji Muhammad Sa'ad Abubakar III. The Sultan has urged Muslims across the country to look out for this year's Ramadan after sunset on Friday, April 1st, which is equivalent to the 29th day of Sha'ban, 1443 after Hijri. However, the Ramadan crescent moon was sighted in multiple locations in Saudi Arabia on Friday evening, prompting the announcement of the commencement of Ramadan fasting by the Kingdom's Supreme Court. Muslims follow a lunar calendar consisting of 12 months in a year of 354 or 355 days. Sighting a crescent moon heralds the start of Ramadan, the 9th month of the Islamic calendar. This will be the first year since 2019 that Ramadan in Saudi Arabia will be observed without coronavirus restrictions. And with this, we've come to the end of today's global news. But before we go, highlights of the major stories. The federal government has approved funds for the procurement of intelligence gathering equipment and gunboats for the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps. An appeal court in Enugu on Friday affirmed the judgment of Ebonyi State High Court Abakaliki, which quashed a suit challenging the defection of Ebonyi Governor David Umahi and his deputy Dr. Kelechi Igwe to the APC.
Global news.
And on the foreign scene, a Saudi Arabia Supreme Court has announced that this year's Ramadan fasting will commence on Saturday in the kingdom. On behalf of the entire production team, I am Hawa Adam Kiawa. Have a wonderful evening.